And welcome back yet to another video here. We're gonna review a job that we did. It's a full interior cleaning for $260. It took 2.5 hours and this interior is pretty bad. So I'll walk you through the process of what we're doing, why we're doing what tools and products that we're using. You can also check the video description box down below for the links to most of the tools and products that we're using. So let's go ahead and get started. So first things first that you're gonna notice is that this interior is pretty dirty. There is a lot of pet hair, clothes, bottles, business cards, trash just laying around. So what we're gonna do is simply remove those items from the interior before we get anything started. There's gonna be a personal bag for personal items, and there's gonna be a trash bag for the obvious trash. So the way we're gonna tackle the interior is just tackling that pet hair and debris. So the floor mats, the carpeting, the leather seats, we just wanna remove all the debris and pet hair. So we're gonna use our drill brush, our air compressor, a dedicated pet hair brush, a vacuum to just get 90% of that pet hair and debris out of the interior. Now you sometimes have to be careful with that drill brush depending on the fabric that you're working on. If it's old, very frayed already, it's an older vehicle, you want to be a lot more careful because you could pick a lot of that up and essentially destroy the material. And when it comes to pet hair, you know, you're gonna have to kind of throw everything in the kitchen sink at it sometimes. There was one time where I literally just vacuumed up the interior and it literally removed 99% of the pet hair, but that's only ever happened once. For the most part, you're gonna need a pet hair brush, air, you're gonna need your vacuum and the drill brush. And again, with the air compressor, the point of that is to dislodge and loosen up the debris and pet hair from the fabric material. So yes, it's gonna fly around. Then we're gonna just wipe it down or vacuuming it. But it's much faster if we just loosen it versus trying to vacuum it because we wanna keep things in place. Now we're gonna make a mess. We're gonna blow it all over the place to loosen it up and then easily vacuum it up. So now that the vacuuming is complete, all the pet hair debris is out, we're gonna go into the extraction, the shampooing. because we want to give that the most time for it to dry, and it's going to take quite a bit. So we're going to do the floor mats, and we're going to do the carpeting inside the vehicle. We're using our drill gun, our drill brush for our pump sprayer, and then we're heating up our Prospector 500 extractor right now as we're prepping all the carpeting. Next, we're gonna be using our extractor to get to all the surfaces. We're gonna start with the floor mats, and then we're gonna go into the actual interior of the car. The reason why we start with the floor mats is just so we can hang them up, get those out the way, and they can just dry the entire time, which you'll see a clip of that here in a bit. And then we're gonna move over to the carpeting and do the exact same process. And here's what I mean where we just hang them, but we just have some clips and we hang them by the door on our van. So as the carpet is getting finished up, the next person immediately hops on the plastic. Typically, we're gonna start with the door panel. There's no specific door panel that we start with, just we're gonna go to the door panel. And we're gonna be using the air compressor, some brushes, the pads here, as you see there primarily, and our all-purpose cleaner diluted 10:1. The great thing about this Scientific Sapphire upholstery tool is that we can control the PSI. So at our extractor, we control that PSI, which helps us use less water when we're actually shampooing the carpet. And when it's cold out, when we don't want to introduce that much water, that's even better for us because then the dry time goes much faster. So Christian's gonna continue with the plastics. There's no specific order. It's more so what we do. We're gonna vacuum up the interior. We're gonna spray and agitate, and then it's the plastics. There's no exact, like you have to start on the rear passenger door panel and then move to the center. Like there's nothing like that. It's just, we're gonna keep track of what we're doing. We're gonna communicate with the next person to see, hey, what are we doing? And then once the shampooing is done, the next person's gonna hop on and they're both gonna tackle the plastics and leather together. Alex is gonna jump on the leather seats, and we primarily always just use a mitt or some mitt, something like that. So whether it's this mitt, whether it's with the sponge, whether it's the Ninja, we're gonna use these because it's way faster to use that mitt versus a brush. Like, no one here uses a brush anymore. We have plenty of mitts on hand, so we can use that when it comes to cleaning leather seats. It goes by so much faster. All the links will be down in the description box. Now on this one, I would say it would have probably been easier to get the steamer, but a lot of times when we need the steamer for one specific section, we'll oftentimes bypass that and just use it with our air compressor because we don't want to go and start the steamer, wait until since it heat up to use it for this one specific thing. But here they actually are letting it heat up, but it would have helped if we had it from the very get-go. But a lot of times we bypass the steamer and just use our air compressor and the towels and APC. So don't get me wrong, we still use the brushes on the leather cleaning, but we use it for the tight areas and the seams. For the large portion, which is 95% of the leather seat, we're gonna be using a mitt. And here are the after results, and as you can tell, it's a pretty big night and day difference. The customer was absolutely happy with the results. We finished it in about 2.5 hours and we charged $260. The carpet still needed to dry a little bit just because it was cold outside, so it wasn't really drying. So we told the customer to wait about another hour or so before the carpeting was dried. So we just put the floor mats on the seats itself and not put them down on the carpet. That way they can still dry with the windows open. And there we go, the customer was very happy. There was a pretty bad interior and we flipped the run in 2.5 hours. Let me know if you have any comments, questions, concerns about the service, about the product. You can go ahead and check the video description box down below for all the link or most of the links that we used: the ultimate guide to start your detailing business, my podcast, the Detailing Business Class podcast, or my second YouTube channel, the Proper Gear channel, where I talk and teach everything detailing related. Thank you very much for watching another video, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Christian says bye.